So the ending of Loki season 2 left us with a lot of questions, but no question is more important to the Secret War saga than what this means for Kang the Conqueror. And holy right now, there are reports that Marvel is scrapping Kang Dynasty. Look, I was almost done editing this video. I taped it last night, it was about to release it, and then this news dropped. And right now, the news is still not confirmed. Like, we still don't know for sure if they are moving away from Kang Dynasty, even though it did come from a strong source in Joanna Robinson. So in this video, we still gotta nerd out about what the ending of Loki season 2 means for Kang the Conqueror in the Secret War saga, how Loki could be responsible for Kang's disappearance from the MCU if that were to happen, and of course what everybody wants to know, does this mean Dr. Doom is coming? Because first off, the ending of Loki did not tell us anything about whether they'll be sticking with Kang or not. And that's probably because Marvel wants to wait and see what's actually going to happen with Jonathan Majors in his trial that starts on November 29th. But trial aside, like, Jonathan Majors absolutely did his thing in his He Who Remains scene with Tom Hiddleston in the finale. But during that scene, he let us all know that his variants are already out there in the multiverse doing their thing.
You may or may not know,
my variants are already out there.
we'll find them.
There's too many.
And the reason why he told Loki that was to hold it over Loki's head, because he was saying that defeating him will lead to no way of stopping this eventual multiversal war that's going to lead to the destruction of everything. But the question that's remained to be seen is whether or not He Who Remains' promise of a multiversal war with his variants will come true. And with that, we get to the question of Kang's future, and this line is in the center of it all.
I got those reports on the variants of He Who Remains.
Do any of them know that we exist yet?
And that, my friends, explains what exactly is next for Kang the Conqueror should Marvel decide to stick it out with him. Because the TVA is aware that Council of Kangs are a real threat. Like, bruh, they are keeping an eye on them. Best believe, like, they're looking out the window, afraid as hell that the Council of Kangs are going to find the TVA and spin the block. Because even Mobius talks about 616 Kang when talking about Ant-Man and him being in the quantum realm. If that is the Kang from the sacred timeline, the 616, and if you tie that with the theory that He Who Remains came from the sacred timeline, you could try and connect the dots that Kang the Conqueror from Ant-Man actually lost to the Council of Kangs because he did not have the TVA to back him up, because the TVA is with Loki now. Look, that's for another video, but seeing that the fact that the ending of Loki all goes down after the end of Ant-Man 3, we already know that the Council of Kangs are formed, and I'm curious to know if the TVA has knowledge of the Council of Kangs, or if they're just monitoring them on the timeline. And following the Council of Kangs post-credit scene from Ant-Man 3, I think it's possible to say that, like, the people that the Council of Kangs are talking about is messing up their plans, like the one that Immortus is alluding to, are actually the TVA messing up the Council of Kangs plans. And from there, like, we can pretty much connect the effing obvious dots, because that would lead right into the Council of Kangs coming for the TVA, and when they do, the TVA would then find out and in result go recruit multiversal Avengers, like what we see go down in Deadpool and what we're hearing to happen in Kang Dynasty, leading to the big showdown in Secret Wars. But let's just say Marvel decides to go away from Kang the Conqueror, we still have to come back to this line from the ending of the Loki finale.
I got those reports on the variants of He Who Remains.
Do any of them know that we exist yet?
And what I'm about to say is the most simple solution should they want to go away from Kang. That is, Kang the Conqueror never finds the TVA before Secret Wars. And that allows him to shift focus from Kang to the villain that everybody has been talking about already, Dr. Doom. Look, if you're asking, like, how could they just go up and insert Dr. Doom right into the story? Bruh, it's comics. Anything can happen. But I'm gonna give Marvel a bit more credit of how they would actually pull this off, because the events of Loki can easily set this up for Dr. Doom to come into place. First of all, like, there are multiple branches going on in free will at play now that has never been put in play in the MCU before, thanks to Loki taking a spot and holding the multiverse together. With that being said, Dr. Doom could simply just appear in one of those branches now that free will exists throughout the multiverse. But you want to get a load of, like, my favorite running theory on this is that Sylvie would be the one responsible for Dr. Doom. Look, hear me out real quick. Like, now that the multiverse is expanding and we know that the TVA is monitoring variants, Sylvie has always been a wild card in this whole thing. Some people even call Sylvie the villain of season 1 and 2. But at the end of the day, Sylvie has decided to let these variants live out and let this thing play out for the multiverse. But one thing that could go down when it comes to Sylvie is that she's always had that hunger to kill all the variants of He Who Remains. And while she has seemingly let that go at the end of the show, If she gets a whiff that the multiverse could be at danger due to Kang and his variants, she could then go through all of time, erasing each and every single Kang variant from their timelines, even the 616 timeline. But little does she know, taking out those Kangs results in another threat rising: Dr. Doom. And I say that to say I don't want Marvel to just go ahead and plop Dr. Doom right into the story and give him whatever they had planned for Kang. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I would like for Dr. Doom to be involved in Secret Wars, but for me, it just makes sense for Dr. Doom to be that person at the end of Secret Wars, possibly working with Wanda to lead up to Battle World. And if they do that, then that still leaves a void for a villain to lead us through this multiverse saga to get us to that point. So I think it's possible that they skip doing just one villain altogether and make the main antagonist of the saga another universe. You see, in the comics lead up to Secret Wars, time runs out, there wasn't a typical villain there, right? Like, the main antagonist, I would say, of that arc is time, because it's running out, and incursions, because they're destroying universes. And that ultimately led in the comics to a battle between the 616 and the Ultimates universe. You see, this is something that I think they could have easily done with the 838 had Wanda not just obliterated the Illuminati, but had them build up to be that final universe at the end of Secret Wars. And I guess it's something they could still do, or even use that universe that Monica ended up in to be like that main antagonist universe. Because I think beyond just having one singular villain, I think it would be really effing cool to see one souped up timeline that has a lot of your fan favorites, like a lot of your fan castings as superheroes that's been going around the multiverse destroying different timelines because they see the ending of Incursions destroying everything. So they want theirs to survive. Like, I get it. But at the end of the day, 616 got to come through and do their thing and fight for everyone else. So that's where you can even get the 616 fighting with other multiversal Avengers to try and save the multiverse before the final incursion, because I think everybody's forgetting a final incursion is coming before Battle World pops up in here. But those are the three paths they can go with. They can go with Kang the Conqueror, stick with Doom, or go with a multiversal threat. But when it comes to what Marvel is actually going to do here, bruh, they're moving away from Kang. Look, I've been Team Kang from the inception, bro. Like, from the time he was announced to the time that he showed up for the first time as He Who Remains, I've been Team Kang all the way, and still pretty much am to this day. But to just be real, there's too much smoke around Kang's name at this point for Marvel to not actually be planning to move away from your boy. From that Variety article saying that someone at their top ranks in Disney was concerned after the lackluster release of Ant-Man 3, to Joanna Robinson, who, by the way, is one of the authors of that book called The Reign of the Marvel Studios, like a book that a lot of YouTubers have been pointing their fingers to because she has solid sources. She had a source confirm to her that Jeff Loveness was fired because his work mainly centered around Kang the Conqueror, and that's not the route that Marvel is going to be going anymore. So it just seems like, if you're adding everything up together, that Marvel is indeed planning to move away from Jonathan Majors, especially after the ending of Loki season 2. And what that could definitely mean is that Marvel is picking up what the universe has been trying to tell everybody this whole entire time, myself included. The universe has been trying to tell us, just give us Dr. Doom. And I think that's where all roads lead exactly. And like I said a little bit earlier, I would actually like for them to do it a bit like what we saw in the comics and leave Dr. Doom in the background a bit in this early phase of the Secret Wars saga and make the focus the other universes here. So, like, I guess the answer is a bit of both. Like, I think they will do a bit of a combination of using Dr. Doom and the multiverses to make this Secret Wars saga slap. I'm absolutely excited about it, even though I am pretty bummed that Kang the Conqueror is not going to be in the saga anymore. But hey, let me know what you think, because this by all means is not confirmed. Let me know if you think it's actually going to happen or not. And also as well, I'm streaming live here on Mondays and Thursdays at 8:30 with my co-host Justin. So come through, join the discussion, because we're going to be talking about this news for weeks, months, years to come. See you later.